Chosen one. Stop for a moment. I know the urge to keep moving, to keep pushing forward is strong, but before you take another step, I need you to pause and reflect. Something important just happened, and you need to face it. 3 days ago, a gate of destiny opened for you. And yet here you are, 3 days late. I can already feel the resistance, maybe a hint of panic creeping in as you read these words. You think to yourself, how could I be late? I'm supposed to be on this journey. I was meant to do this, and yet here I am. But here's the truth. This moment is not to condemn you. It's a message of grace and awakening. Divine timing doesn't operate by our clocks. It doesn't care about the hours or the days. It's a much deeper, more sacred rhythm. When the spiritual realm moves, it moves according to purpose, not the calendar. And while you've missed the initial moment when the gate first opened, that doesn't mean you've missed the opportunity entirely. You didn't just stumble upon this video by chance. No, your spirit led you here. Your soul recognized the invitation, the call that's been stirring within you, even if your conscious mind hasn't yet caught up. And maybe, just maybe, that's why you feel this strange, uncomfortable sense of urgency, why you feel a quiet pull, a tugging at your heart, telling you that something important was just out of reach. That feeling is not random. That feeling is divine. You see, chosen one, the fact that you're here right now means you still have access. Heaven didn't close the gate just because you were late. The universe doesn't operate like that. There's always a window of grace, a second chance to realign and step back into what was meant for you. That's why this message, this very moment, has found you. The timing is still perfect, and your calling is still waiting for you to answer. Before you get overwhelmed by the thought of missing something so crucial, take a deep breath. We're going to walk through this step by step, because there's no rush now, only a quiet urgency to align yourself with the divine purpose that's been unfolding all along. So take a moment now to ask yourself, what was I doing 3 days ago? Where was your mind? What was your heart focused on? Were you distracted, busy with the noise of life? Were you deep in an emotional state, perhaps drained or disconnected from the clarity you usually feel? Those weren't random distractions. Those were subtle pulls, interference that kept you from walking through the gate that had opened just for you. 3 days ago wasn't just another day. It was a sacred moment in time, and whether you realized it or not, it was a time for divine alignment. The universe had arranged things just for you. But now, you're waking up to the realization that you missed it, and the truth is, it's okay. There's still a chance to step back into alignment, but you have to choose to respond. You have to decide if you're ready to embrace what's left for you now. As you reflect, I want you to remember one thing. Divine timing is never about perfection. It's about your willingness to align with the flow. It's about obedience. It's about spiritual sensitivity. And you can realign even if you feel late. Your spirit has been sensing something was off. Something was missing, and you might not fully understand why you felt unsettled, confused, or distracted these past few days. That wasn't an accident. That was a sign. When that gate opened 3 days ago, something in you knew. Something in your spirit was supposed to walk through it, but life got in the way. Distractions pulled you aside, and you didn't see the call for what it was. Maybe you didn't feel ready. Maybe fear or uncertainty held you back. But here's the thing. The gate is still standing, and it hasn't closed forever. Not for you. Not yet. This message is not about guilt or shame, chosen one. It's about a sacred reminder there is still time to step back into what was meant for you. And that's the beautiful thing about divine timing. It's never truly about the exact moment. It's about alignment. It's about the heart's willingness to return to the path when you realize you've stepped off course. You still have the chance. And I'm here to guide you through this moment to remind you that even though the gate opened 3 days ago, you have the ability to reclaim what was always meant for you. Your story isn't over. In fact, it's just beginning again. Chosen one, now that you've understood the reality of missing the gate 3 days ago, I need you to take a moment to truly reflect on something deeper. It's easy to get lost in the idea of time itself. We live in a world of deadlines, to-do lists, and scheduled events. Time governs everything we do. But in the spiritual realm, time is not what we've been taught to understand it as. Divine timing doesn't follow the clock or the calendar. It doesn't depend on the minutes and seconds. It's rooted in alignment, purpose, and the divine will. Now that the gate has passed and you've felt the weight of that missed moment, you may wonder, how do I truly understand this timing? How can you be sure that you weren't simply too late and that there's still a divine moment waiting for you? Let's go deeper into what divine timing actually means and how it operates on a much higher level than what we can physically measure. In the natural world, we operate on chronos, time, minutes, hours, days, and years. But in the spiritual realm, the timing that truly matters is called kairos, a sacred moment, a time set by heaven, an opportune time for something to happen in alignment with divine purpose. Kairos time is not constrained by the clock. It's when the right moment intersects with your readiness, your obedience, and your willingness to step forward into what's been prepared for you. It's a rhythm that speaks to the soul, a timing that echoes within you, pulling you toward a purpose beyond your own understanding. That is why the gate opened 3 days ago. It wasn't because the universe was being rigid. It wasn't about a moment ticking away lost to the march of time. No, it was a sacred moment when everything aligned perfectly for you. The universe saw that you were ready, or at least almost ready. The Spirit prepared the path. But as we know, even when the right timing arrives, we still have free will. We still have the choice to act or not. You might have missed that moment because of distractions, fear, emotional turmoil, or simply not feeling ready. And that's okay, because in divine timing, it's never too late. You are not disqualified. If your heart still stirs when you hear these words, if you feel the pull even now, that's your confirmation. You're still in the window of grace. But let's dig deeper. Have you ever wondered why it felt like something was out of sync lately? Maybe your mind has been scattered, or you've been feeling more exhausted than usual. Maybe your thoughts have felt clouded, or even your dreams have been disturbed. This is no coincidence. You were sensing the dissonance of missing the gate. That feeling wasn't random. It was divine interference, a spiritual tug reminding you that something was out of alignment, and now you're being invited to realign. Have you ever experienced a moment of clarity, an epiphany, when everything seemed to click into place? That's the result of divine timing working. It's when all the pieces come together and the path is clear. But what happens when you miss that alignment, or when you simply weren't ready to walk through it? You begin to feel unrest, that feeling of something off. You may have felt unsettled, distracted, or emotionally drained over the past few days. That was the aftermath of the spiritual gate opening and you not walking through it. But here's the beauty of divine timing. It's not just a single moment, it's a series of moments, a rhythm that will call you again and again until you respond. Chosen one. I want you to know this. Divine timing isn't about the perfection of your actions. It's about your willingness to step forward. It's not about getting everything right. It's about showing up ready to respond with humility, obedience, and trust in what the Spirit is guiding you toward. Even if you missed the moment when the gate first opened, that doesn't mean your purpose is gone. It simply means that the rhythm of the universe is calling you back into alignment, and it's up to you whether you will respond. This time, it's not about frantically trying to catch up. It's not about rushing through life trying to make up for lost time. It's about aligning yourself with the current moment and then moving forward in faith. Remember, divine timing isn't about your ability to control everything. It's about trusting the process and moving when the Spirit moves. You are not here by chance. Your soul has been calling for this, even if you didn't realize it at first. But how do you get back into alignment now? How do you open yourself to the timing of heaven and respond to what's been waiting for you? First, understand this spiritual alignment is not about striving. It's about surrender. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what's aligned. It's about tuning into the rhythm of heaven rather than pushing against it. When the gate opened 3 days ago, it wasn't an accident. That was a kairos moment, an appointed time for you to step forward. But even now, if you're willing to realign, you can still step into that purpose. It's just going to require a shift in your perspective, a recalibration of your spirit. Think of it this way. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a river. The current is flowing gently, but if you try to swim against the current, you'll tire quickly. But when you align yourself with the flow of the river, moving with it instead of against it, you suddenly find yourself in a place of peace where you're carried by the divine current. This is what spiritual alignment looks like. You don't have to fight it. You don't have to struggle. You just have to allow yourself to flow with it. So, chosen one, how do you get back into sync with the spiritual rhythm that's been moving all around you? How do you align yourself with this moment, even though it feels like you missed it? First, you have to stop resisting. Let go of the guilt, the shame, or any feelings of inadequacy. Divine timing isn't about being perfect. It's about being willing. Let go of the idea that you missed something irreparable. It's not too late. The gate may have closed, but grace is still extending an invitation for you to step forward. And second, you have to quiet yourself. Silence the noise, the distractions, and the clutter that's pulling your attention in 1,000 different directions. You cannot hear the Spirit if your mind is clouded by confusion or emotional fatigue. In order to hear the whispers of the divine, you must be still. And this stillness isn't just about physical quiet. It's about creating space within your heart and mind to hear the promptings of the Spirit clearly. Lastly, you have to surrender your will. This is the part where it gets difficult for many. You see, we all have our plans, our dreams, and our timelines. But the truth is, divine timing often calls us to trust a path that we didn't choose. It calls us to go places we didn't expect. It invites us into new territories, and that requires a deep level of surrender. It's not about control. It's about letting go and trusting that the Spirit knows the way. So, chosen one, how are you responding to this invitation now? Are you ready to step into the rhythm of divine timing? Are you willing to trust the process, even if it feels uncomfortable or uncertain? The truth is, you've been chosen for something extraordinary. Your purpose is aligned with something much larger than yourself. But if you keep moving at the pace of the world, rushing, distracted, overwhelmed, you may miss the moment that's meant for you. The spiritual gate may open again, but it's up to you whether you're ready to walk through it when it does. Now, I'm not here to tell you that you've missed the boat forever. Not at all. The Spirit is generous, and grace gives you another chance to align. But make no mistake, time waits for no one. Divine moments come when they're meant to, but if you don't respond, the river keeps flowing. So let's pause together and check in with your spirit. What is it telling you right now? Are you still feeling the pull of purpose? Do you sense that there's still something waiting for you, even if you've missed the first call? If your spirit is alive with a sense of readiness, then you've already taken the first step. You're on your way back into alignment. Chosen one, as we continue on this journey, I want to go deeper into the core of what you're truly being called to understand: the importance of alignment over time. It's a profound truth that will change how you see the world, how you approach your spiritual path, and how you respond to future calls from the divine. Many of us live by time, chronos time as we call it. We look at the clock, check the calendar, and plan our lives around these ticking minutes and days. We measure success by deadlines, goals met, and plans achieved. But when it comes to divine timing, that's not how it works. Heaven doesn't measure time the way we do. The universe isn't concerned with your schedule. It's concerned with whether your heart is aligned with its purpose. And when you align with divine timing, that's when everything in your life starts to flow, even when it feels like everything else is falling apart. Let me explain what I mean by alignment. Alignment is not simply a passive state. It's a deep and active agreement between your spirit and the flow of the universe. When you're aligned, your life begins to resonate with the rhythms of heaven. Everything starts to fall into place, not because you've forced it, but because you've positioned yourself to receive it. You're not trying to make things happen. You're simply allowing them to unfold in their time. That's why timing isn't everything in the spiritual realm. Yes, the gate opened 3 days ago, and yes, you missed it. But what matters is how you respond now. Time doesn't move backwards, but alignment is always available. No matter how late you feel, it's never too late to realign. And when you do, that's when the next moment of divine timing will appear, waiting for you to walk through it. This isn't to say that timing doesn't matter. Divine moments are indeed time-sensitive. But the key to these moments is not how early or late you arrive. It's about whether you're in the right spiritual position when the moment happens. The gate that opened 3 days ago was significant, but it wasn't just about walking through it. It was about your readiness, your obedience, and your ability to sense the divine call. That's what heaven was waiting for, your alignment. There is something very powerful about this concept. You see, we often think of time as a linear progression: today, tomorrow, next year, one step after the other. But in the spiritual realm, it's different. Time is more like a circle or a spiral, constantly flowing, moving in and out of itself. When the gate opened 3 days ago, it wasn't just a moment in time. It was a divine opportunity to align with a higher purpose. And just because you didn't step through it at the time doesn't mean you can't step through it now. When you align yourself with divine purpose, you are allowing the universe to move through you. You're becoming a vessel, and in that alignment, everything you need will flow into your life. It's not about forcing things into being. It's about allowing what's already been placed in your path to come into fruition. So what happens when you miss those divine moments? What does it mean to miss the gate, to feel the discomfort, the pull of something that you didn't fully step into? I know that feeling. It's the one that sits heavy in your chest when you realize you weren't in alignment, when you were distracted, unsure, or too focused on something else. It's that lingering sense that something passed you by and that something was meant to be yours. But I want you to understand this. Missed moments in the spiritual realm aren't final. They don't close forever. The universe is patient, and although the gate closed 3 days ago, what you missed isn't gone. It's still there, waiting for you to realign, still offering you grace, still asking you to return to it. Divine timing is rarely about exact precision. It's about the Spirit's willingness to respond. And as long as you're still willing, you can still step back into alignment and reclaim what was meant for you. The universe does not punish you for being late. What it does is provide you with opportunities to align again. What matters now is how you move forward. Can you step into alignment now, even though you missed the moment before? Can you realign your heart with divine purpose and continue walking with courage and clarity? This is the test that you're being asked to face now. You might have missed the gate 3 days ago, but that doesn't mean it's over. The divine call doesn't just expire. It doesn't give up on you. Your purpose is not fragile. What was meant for you cannot be easily taken away. It may require more effort, more intention, more focus now, but it's still waiting for you. Your soul is still calling for you to walk through that gate, even if the window feels smaller. Remember, the divine realm operates on a different kind of timing. It's not about catching up to the physical clock. It's about aligning with a deeper spiritual rhythm. And when you align yourself with that rhythm, you'll notice that things start to move smoothly. You'll start to feel the flow, the ease, the grace that comes when you're in tune with the universe. But how do you know when you're truly aligned? How do you know when you're in sync with what's meant for you? Alignment doesn't always feel like ease at first. Sometimes it feels uncomfortable. It may even feel like resistance. When the gate first opened 3 days ago, you might have felt the initial pull to move forward, but fear, uncertainty, or distractions kept you from acting. That resistance was the first sign that you weren't aligned. But that doesn't mean you missed the boat entirely. It just means you were being called to confront your resistance. You were being invited to examine what held you back. Was it fear? Was it doubt? Was it something in your environment that pulled you away from your center? All of these things are signs that your alignment was slightly off. But here's the good news. Alignment is a choice. And now that you know what you missed, you can choose to step back into the flow. It's not too late. The universe isn't done with you. It's simply waiting for you to realign and step forward with purpose. Let's talk about that resistance for a moment. The resistance you felt was a sign that something within you wasn't ready to let go of what was holding you back. And in that moment, you may have felt disconnected, unsure, or like you were spinning in circles. But the resistance itself is a clue. It's the universe showing you where to focus, where to release, where to surrender. Resistance often arises when we're not ready to let go of the things that are holding us back, whether they're relationships, old habits, emotional baggage, or doubts. But when you align yourself spiritually, you let go of those things and you make room for what's meant to come. So, to step back into alignment, it's time to ask yourself, what needs to shift? What do I need to release in order to realign with my purpose? This is the moment to examine what's been holding you back, to ask for clarity, and to let go of anything that no longer serves your highest good. When you release that resistance, the flow will return and the opportunities that were meant for you will begin to make their way back into your life. This doesn't mean the journey will be without effort. The path ahead will still require your attention, your focus, and your willingness to keep moving forward. But now you'll be doing so in alignment with divine purpose, moving forward with confidence, peace, and clarity. So, chosen one, understand this. The timing wasn't wrong, and you didn't miss your chance forever. The gate opened 3 days ago, but divine timing is never truly over. The universe is always inviting you back into alignment. The question is, will you step in now? Your path is waiting for you. The gate may have closed, but grace remains. Align yourself with the divine rhythm once again, and you'll step into the flow of your purpose, no matter what day it is. Chosen one, now that you've recognized the importance of alignment, I want to take you deeper into understanding what happens when you delay. The truth is, every moment of delay, every time we stray from divine timing, carries a spiritual cost. But here's the crucial part. Understanding the cost isn't about guilt or punishment. It's about awareness and awakening. By recognizing what's at stake, you can begin to shift your energy and your actions to prevent further delay and realign with your purpose. When the gate opened 3 days ago, you weren't just missing a moment in time. You were missing an opportunity to move forward in your spiritual journey. And while the idea of spiritual cost may sound heavy, it's important to recognize that what you've missed isn't lost forever. It's waiting to be redeemed, but the path to redemption requires clarity and a conscious decision to move in the right direction. Let's take a closer look at what the spiritual cost of delay really means. When you miss the gate of destiny, one of the first things you might notice is an emotional drain. It's a quiet exhaustion that doesn't come from physical exertion, but from an internal imbalance. You may have felt emotionally distant, spiritually tired, or disconnected from the usual sense of clarity and purpose that you once had. Have you been feeling like this lately? That sense that something just isn't quite right, but you couldn't put your finger on what it was. This is the spiritual cost of delay. When you're not aligned with the divine flow, your energy gets scattered. It's as though you're running on a treadmill, but getting nowhere. You might feel busy, active, and even productive, but you won't experience the peace that comes from walking in your purpose. This emotional and spiritual drain can affect every area of your life, your relationships, your work, and even your health. That's because the soul needs alignment to thrive. When it's out of sync, it sends messages to your body, your mind, and your emotions, signaling that something is off. It's like a compass that's no longer pointing true north. You may continue to move, but you're moving in circles. And until you realign, you won't experience the peace or fulfillment that comes from walking in the path you were always meant to walk. But here's the hope: just because you've been feeling disconnected doesn't mean that connection is lost forever. It means it's time to re-establish your spiritual practices and return to the rhythm that will restore your soul's peace. Another cost of delay is the disruption of your clarity and direction. When you miss an important moment in the spiritual realm, your internal compass becomes foggy. You may find yourself praying but not hearing, working but not progressing, and trying but not achieving. This is one of the most challenging aspects of delay, the sense that you're doing everything right, but nothing is quite clicking. It's like pushing a heavy boulder up a hill, feeling like you're constantly fighting against the current. This happens because when you're not in alignment, the divine clarity you need to move forward becomes clouded. And if you continue to push through without realigning, you'll continue to experience the frustration of moving but not getting anywhere. You won't have the peace that comes with knowing you're walking in the right direction. This is why clarity is such a crucial part of the spiritual journey. Divine clarity comes when you're in the flow, when your heart is aligned with heaven's purpose for you. It's not something you can manufacture or force. It comes naturally when you're tuned into the right frequency. So if you've been feeling uncertain, confused, or directionless, it's a sign that your clarity has been disrupted, and it's a wake-up call to realign. When you allow yourself to return to alignment, your clarity will be restored, and you'll be able to make decisions with confidence and peace once again. One of the most important truths about being a chosen one is this: your journey isn't just about you. The divine calling on your life impacts others. Your actions, your decisions, and your obedience or lack thereof create a ripple effect that extends far beyond your own life. When you delay or miss a divine moment, that delay can affect the lives of others who are meant to benefit from your obedience. There are people waiting on your yes. There are souls whose destinies are connected to yours. Your purpose isn't just for your own fulfillment. It's meant to serve, uplift, and guide others on their paths. So when you miss a gate of destiny, you not only affect your own path, but you also delay the fulfillment of others' destinies. They may be waiting on a conversation with you, a word of encouragement, or a specific action that you were meant to take. When you're out of alignment, you delay the flow of blessings and guidance that others need. This is why it's so important to take your spiritual journey seriously. It's not just about your own life. It's about the impact you have on the world around you. When you align with divine timing, you step into your calling, and that calling doesn't just benefit you. It extends to others, creating a positive ripple effect that brings healing, hope, and transformation. Another aspect of delay is the spiritual cost that comes from disobedience. Now let me be clear. I'm not talking about some harsh, punitive form of punishment from the divine. I'm talking about the natural consequences that occur when you choose to ignore the call of your purpose, when you decide that now is not the right time to act. Disobedience creates a disconnect between you and the flow of divine will. You are a vessel chosen to carry out a specific purpose, and when you delay or disregard your assignment, that vessel becomes blocked. The peace you once felt turns into restlessness. The joy you once had turns into frustration. It's as if you're swimming against the current, fighting to keep your head above water, when all you need to do is align yourself with the flow. When you choose disobedience, the divine grace that is meant to propel you forward is withheld. You may still feel blessed, but the true power that comes from being in alignment with your calling will feel distant. It's not that the blessings aren't there, it's that you're not fully positioned to receive them. And the beauty of divine grace is this: even in the midst of disobedience, there's still hope for redemption. You can always choose to align yourself again, but it requires you to recognize the spiritual cost of delay and make a conscious decision to step back into alignment. Perhaps the most significant cost of delay is the disconnection from your highest potential. When you miss a divine moment, you miss an opportunity to step into a higher version of yourself. The gate that opened 3 days ago was not just about a specific moment, it was an invitation to evolve, to step into a new level of growth and purpose. And every moment you delay, you're prolonging your entrance into that higher self. You're delaying your potential. The longer you stay out of alignment, the longer it takes for you to reach the fullness of your potential. You are being called to grow, to stretch, and to become all that you are created to be. But the delay holds you back. It keeps you in a place of limitation where you can't fully step into the fullness of what's waiting for you. But here's the powerful part of this truth. Just because you missed an opportunity doesn't mean your potential is gone. It's still waiting for you. That higher version of yourself is still there, ready to step into existence as soon as you choose to realign and answer the call. Now that we've explored the spiritual cost of delay, let's talk about how you can begin to realign and move forward. The first step is awareness. You've already taken that step by reading this message. You're aware of the delays in your journey and you understand what's at stake. The next step is to make a decision. Will you continue to live in resistance, staying disconnected from your highest potential? Or will you choose to align with divine timing and move forward with purpose? The choice is yours. But know this, the moment you choose to realign, the moment you choose to step back into divine timing, you will begin to feel the shift. You'll feel peace return. You'll feel the clarity you've been missing, and you'll feel your energy renew as you once again begin to move in alignment with your purpose. It's never too late to reclaim your spiritual momentum. The gate may have closed, but grace has opened a new window for you. Step through it now with clarity, humility, and faith that everything you missed can still be recovered. Chosen one, as you continue to reflect on the spiritual journey you've been called to, there's one crucial aspect that I want to highlight: distraction. The enemy of purpose is not always something blatant or outwardly obvious. It's often subtle, sneaky, and disguised as something innocent, something even good. This is the nature of spiritual interference, how easily your focus can be pulled away when you're closest to the moment of divine breakthrough. 3 days ago, the gate of destiny opened for you. For some, it was an invitation to move forward. For others, it was a calling to step into the next level of their spiritual journey. But somehow, you missed it. Why? What kept you from answering? What was the distraction that prevented you from stepping through? Distraction isn't always about what's happening outside of you. It's often about what's happening inside of you. It's the emotional fatigue, the internal struggle, the fear, the doubt, and the negative thinking that cloud your awareness and prevent you from seeing the opportunities right in front of you. We get so caught up in the noise of life, the busyness of work, relationships, and responsibilities that we forget to listen to our inner voice, to the call of the Spirit. But here's the reality. Spiritual distractions are not random. They're often strategically placed, designed to pull your attention away at the most critical times. The closer you get to breakthrough, the stronger the interference tends to be. It's almost as though the universe itself is testing your resolve. Are you truly ready for the next step? Will you stay focused on your calling, or will you allow the distractions of life to sidetrack you? Now let's explore exactly how spiritual distractions work and what you can do to prevent them from derailing your journey. One of the most common distractions that can pull you away from your purpose is emotional fatigue. When you are emotionally drained, whether from stress, personal struggles, or unresolved issues, you lose your clarity. You become foggy, distracted, and much less spiritually sensitive. Emotional fatigue doesn't always show up as overt exhaustion. Sometimes it's a quiet depletion that makes it hard to concentrate, think clearly, or make decisions with confidence. In the last few days, have you found yourself feeling unusually tired or emotionally off balance? This could be a sign that you are being spiritually distracted by exhaustion. You see, the enemy doesn't need to make you completely exhausted in a traditional sense. All it takes is a little emotional weariness to dull your senses and keep you from stepping into your purpose. When your emotional energy is drained, it becomes difficult to hear the quiet promptings of the Spirit. Your inner voice becomes muffled, and you might miss the subtle guidance meant to lead you forward. Emotional fatigue is one of the most powerful distractions, and it can make you feel disconnected from your purpose. But here's the beauty. Emotional fatigue can be healed through rest, reflection, and spiritual renewal. When you recognize that you're emotionally drained, it's time to pause and recharge. Take time for prayer, meditation, and quiet reflection. Refocus your energy on your connection with the divine. When you make your spiritual health a priority, emotional fatigue can no longer control your path. Another major distraction is the external noise of life. We live in a world filled with distractions. Social media, constant notifications, demands from work, and obligations from others can easily pull you away from your spiritual focus. These distractions are designed to fill your mind with noise, making it harder for you to hear the quiet voice of the divine calling you forward. When the gate of destiny opened 3 days ago, perhaps you were bombarded with external noise. Perhaps you were caught up in the drama of life, rushing from one thing to the next, unable to slow down enough to notice the divine moment that was unfolding in front of you. The reality is that the more distracted you are, the less you'll be able to recognize the subtle signs from the universe guiding you. The external noise, whether it's conversations, distractions on your phone, or the demands of others, drowns out the quiet whispers of the spirit. And in the chaos, you miss the very thing that's meant to elevate you to the next level. To counter this distraction, you must learn to create space for stillness. You need moments of quiet moments when you can shut out the noise and reconnect with your inner self. Silence is where the divine speaks most clearly. It's in the stillness that you'll hear the call to move forward, to step through the gate of destiny that has been prepared for you. If you've been feeling overwhelmed by external noise recently, take a step back. Turn off the distractions, make space for quiet time, and refocus your energy. Only when you disconnect from the noise of the world can you truly hear the call of your purpose. Fear is one of the strongest distractions that keep people from stepping into their calling. When the gate opened 3 days ago, you might have been paralyzed by fear. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown, or fear of not being enough. Fear is a distraction because it causes you to hesitate, second-guess yourself, and ultimately stop you from taking action. Self-doubt often accompanies fear. You start to question whether you're truly worthy of the calling, whether you're capable of stepping into the future that's waiting for you. But here's the truth. Fear and self-doubt are often lies. They're not the voice of truth. They're the voice of resistance. When you feel these emotions rising within you, it's a sign that you are on the edge of something great. It's a sign that you are closer to your breakthrough than you realize. Remember, fear only has the power you give it. When you step into your purpose, you are stepping into divine courage, the kind of courage that empowers you to face your fears and move through them. Every time you take action in faith, the fear dissipates. And in its place, you'll find confidence, peace, and clarity. So, what can you do to combat the distraction of fear? Face it head on. Acknowledge the fear, but don't let it control you. Step out in faith and trust that you are supported by the divine. When you move in alignment with your calling, you'll begin to see that fear cannot hold you back. One of the most subtle distractions is procrastination. Procrastination often comes when we feel overwhelmed by the task ahead or when we lack clarity on how to move forward. It's easy to put things off, thinking that you'll take action later when the time feels right. But here's the truth. The longer you wait, the more difficult it becomes to take action. Procrastination is a form of avoidance, and it often stems from fear or a lack of confidence. When you delay taking action, you delay the blessings and opportunities that are waiting for you. In fact, procrastination is often the enemy of divine timing because it holds you back from walking through the gate that's open for you. To overcome procrastination, you must commit to small, consistent steps forward. Break your task into manageable pieces and take action even when you don't feel 100% ready. When you make progress, no matter how small, you align yourself with the flow of divine timing and the momentum will build. Remember, action creates clarity. As you move forward, the path will become clearer and you'll gain confidence in the process. Lastly, some distractions come from unfinished business in your emotional or spiritual life. If you've been through difficult experiences or have unresolved wounds, these unhealed parts of your soul can pull your focus away from your divine purpose. They keep you stuck in the past, unable to fully step into the present and the future that is calling you. If you find yourself repeatedly drawn back to past hurts patterns or unresolved issues, it's time to address them. The Spirit will not fully allow you to move forward until you've healed the wounds that are holding you back. You must actively seek healing through prayer, reflection, and the support of trusted guides or counselors. When you heal, you release the distractions of your past. You make room for the new opportunities and divine moments that are waiting for you. Healing isn't easy, but it is essential if you want to step into your full potential. Chosen one, now that we've delved into the challenges and distractions and the spiritual cost of delay, let's talk about one of the most beautiful aspects of this journey: grace. Divine grace is the lifeblood that sustains us through every moment of our spiritual journey, especially when we feel like we've fallen behind, missed the mark, or simply weren't ready. Grace is what allows you to return to your calling even after delay. It's the gift that lifts you back into alignment, even when you feel like you've messed up. Grace is not about perfection. It's not about being flawless in your response to divine timing. Grace is about the space given to you when you've strayed off course. It's the mercy that says, even though you were late, you can still step in. Even though you missed the gate 3 days ago, grace gives you a second chance. And here's the thing: grace is not a one-time offer. It's ongoing. It's ever-present. The grace that allowed you to feel the divine pull after missing the gate 3 days ago is still available to you. It hasn't left. It's not something that's been taken away because you didn't act in time. Grace doesn't operate according to the strict measures of time. It operates according to your heart's willingness to realign with your purpose. When you experience delay, it often feels like you've missed out on something. It feels like something was taken away, like an opportunity has passed you by. Perhaps you look at your life and wonder if you'll ever get another chance to step into what you were meant for. Maybe you feel like you've lost too much time or that the moment is gone. But here's the good news: grace restores what was lost. It doesn't erase the past, but it redeems it. It doesn't change the fact that 3 days ago you missed an opportunity, but it does give you the power to reclaim it. Grace doesn't just provide a second chance. It makes a way for what you thought was lost to be recovered. Think about it. Even though you may have missed a significant moment, grace allows you to step into the fullness of what's still waiting for you. That opportunity is not gone forever. It has been suspended, lingering, awaiting your return. And when you step into grace, you step back into alignment with what was meant for you all along. Grace is not about catching up to lost time. It's about returning to your spiritual position no matter how far off track you may have gotten. It's about taking the next step with a heart ready to receive, rather than one weighed down by guilt or regret. And in this return, what you thought was lost is not only recovered, it's magnified, restored, and renewed. So often we think that delay and disobedience will result in condemnation, that the Spirit will leave us because we failed to answer the call in time. But that's not the message I want you to hear today. You are not condemned. You are not abandoned. Grace lifts you up. When you miss the moment, it's easy to fall into self-criticism, to think that you've missed your chance forever. Perhaps you believe that your failure means you're unworthy of what's been promised. But grace is never about what you deserve. Grace is about what has been given freely, regardless of your mistakes or your timing. Grace says, "You were late, but I'm still here to lift you up." The Spirit does not scold you. The Spirit doesn't turn its back on you. Instead, it whispers, "I am still with you, and I will still guide you." It's in those moments of failure, those moments of delay, that grace becomes most evident. It's in the humility of realizing you've missed something that the Spirit lifts you higher with mercy and love. You may feel unworthy of this grace, but let me tell you this: you are worthy not because you've been perfect, but because you are loved and because your purpose is sacred. The divine doesn't need you to be flawless. It needs you to be willing to open your heart, to step into the flow of divine timing when the opportunity comes again. Perhaps the most powerful aspect of grace is its ability to create new opportunities when it seems like all is lost. You may have missed your original moment, but grace opens the door to new beginnings, new paths, and new blessings. The truth is, spiritual gates don't just open once, they open repeatedly in different forms at different times. The gate that opened 3 days ago is not the only one you'll encounter on your journey. And when you step into grace, the Spirit will lead you to those moments when the gate swings wide once again. But there's a key here. When you receive grace, it's not just about waiting for another opportunity to come. It's about recognizing that the door is always open in your heart, and your response must be quick. The second chance is not a delay in itself, it's a chance to act immediately. Grace doesn't invite you to wait passively. It calls you to act swiftly, to walk in alignment with the divine, and to use this moment wisely. So yes, the gate you missed was important, but the real question now is, will you act with urgency this time? Grace doesn't give you permission to procrastinate. It gives you permission to step in again, to realign, and to move forward. But with grace, you must move with purpose and intention. Now it's time to ask yourself the most important question. Are you ready to return? Are you ready to step into what you were meant to do even after you've missed your original moment? The grace offered to you is not meant to be a crutch that holds you in place. It's meant to be a bridge that carries you forward. It's not enough to simply feel sorry or wish you had acted earlier. Grace requires a response. It requires you to acknowledge what you missed and then take immediate action to realign with your divine purpose. The Spirit has been patient with you. Now it's time to respond. You can't afford to delay any longer. Your spiritual destiny is waiting. This is the moment of decision. You may feel uncertain or hesitant, but that's okay. Grace allows room for doubt, but it also invites you to step into the unknown with trust, knowing that the Spirit will guide you. You don't have to have all the answers, but you do have to have the willingness to move. And that's what grace gives you, the ability to move forward, despite the fear, despite the uncertainty, despite the delay. When you step into grace, you are realigning your entire being with divine purpose. You're no longer operating on your own understanding or trying to push through in your own strength. You're surrendering to the flow of divine timing, allowing the Spirit to guide you as you walk in alignment with your soul's calling. How do you realign? First, you must acknowledge the delay. You must face it and embrace it as part of your journey. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's something to learn from. By acknowledging it, you release the weight of guilt and regret. You free yourself from the burden of thinking that you've lost something forever. Next, you must choose to act. The Spirit has already prepared the way, and grace has given you the opportunity to step back into alignment. But now you must choose to walk through that door. Realigning means taking action, no longer waiting for the perfect moment, but choosing to move forward with faith, with trust, and with humility. Finally, remember that grace doesn't just restore what was lost, it amplifies what's to come. When you align yourself with divine timing, the next steps of your journey will be filled with even more purpose, even more clarity, and even more peace. Grace makes you whole again, but it also moves you into a deeper alignment than you were before. As we close, I want to remind you that divine timing is not about perfect actions or flawless decisions. It's about your willingness to align with what's meant for you, even when things don't go according to plan. Grace is what makes the journey possible, and it's available to you at all times. You are called for something significant, something greater than yourself. The fact that you missed the gate 3 days ago doesn't change that calling. It doesn't change the destiny that's waiting for you. Grace has provided you with a second chance. But now it's up to you to step forward, to realign, and to trust that everything you missed is still available to you through grace. This is your opportunity to return. This is your moment to act. Step forward in grace, knowing that the gate of destiny is still open for you. Chosen one, now that you've recognized the grace extended to you and the importance of realigning with divine timing, I want to delve deeper into something profound, the echo of missed opportunities. This concept might feel a bit uncomfortable, but it is a crucial aspect of spiritual growth in understanding the path ahead. The key to this part of your journey is to recognize that missed moments are not lost forever. Though they carry a weight, they also carry a potential for spiritual growth, a deeper connection to your purpose, and the wisdom needed for future steps. When the gate opened 3 days ago, something in your spirit was meant to respond. Whether you missed the moment out of fear, distraction, or simply because you weren't yet aligned, that opportunity is still with you. It hasn't disappeared. It has merely been delayed, waiting for you to find your way back to it. And that delay, while seemingly painful, is not the end of your journey. It is part of the spiritual growth you need to undergo to step fully into what was meant for you. Let's explore what happens when opportunities are missed and how the echo of those moments plays a vital role in shaping your path forward. First, understand that every missed opportunity in the spiritual realm leaves behind an echo. You might have missed the gate of destiny 3 days ago, but the call is still there, reverberating in your soul. It's like the sound of a bell ringing in the distance, its tone lingering long after it's been struck. That sound calls you back, reminding you of the divine invitation you once received and still have the chance to respond to. The echo of missed opportunities is not a call of condemnation or regret. It's a reminder that you have the chance to step back into alignment with your purpose. The moments you missed weren't merely passing moments in time, they were spiritually charged moments. They were infused with potential and meant to guide you toward a higher place in your journey. But the echo of those missed moments still exists within you, urging you to return to that path. As you've reflected on this time of delay, have you noticed a subtle discomfort, a sense of something unfinished, a nagging feeling that calls to you from within? That is the echo of what you missed, and it's meant to guide you, not to weigh you down. It's the universe's way of saying, even though the moment has passed, you are still called to step into what is yours. You are not disqualified. The beauty of this echo is that it can serve as a powerful tool for your spiritual awakening. It's a way of retracing your steps, revisiting the decisions that led to the missed moment, and understanding how you can respond differently now. That echo is a grace-filled reminder that the opportunity is still available to you, not as it once was, but in a form that's been enriched by your growth. Often delay is seen as a negative force, a force that causes you to miss out on what could have been. But in reality, delay has a purpose. It isn't about punishment, it's about learning, growth, and refinement. When you look back at the moments you missed, think about the lessons that delay taught you. What did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about your fears, your distractions, and your willingness to act? The wisdom you gain from delay is invaluable. The gate that opened 3 days ago wasn't just about an external opportunity, it was about an internal readiness. And if you weren't ready, that delay has given you time to reflect, to realign, and to prepare. The wisdom of delay is the space it gives you to understand why you didn't step through when the door was first opened. It forces you to look inward, to confront any obstacles that kept you from acting, and to ask, what do I need to change? What must I release in order to fully step into my calling? Every missed moment offers an opportunity to grow spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. It's a chance to evaluate your readiness, your emotional state, and your level of connection with your higher self. The delay isn't about missing the chance forever. It's about being given more time to become the person you need to be in order to receive the full blessing of what's ahead. So don't rush to dismiss the delay as a mistake. Instead, take a moment to honor the wisdom that delay has given you. The lessons learned in this time of waiting are often the keys to unlocking a greater level of purpose and alignment when the next gate opens. To truly recover what was missed, you must reflect on it. Reflection is the bridge between the missed opportunity and the recovery of it. Without reflection, you may continue to move forward, but you'll miss the deeper lessons that will help you step into alignment. Reflection allows you to understand why you missed the gate in the first place and how to avoid that same mistake when the next opportunity arises. Ask yourself, what held me back? What was I afraid of? Was I distracted by something or someone? Was I not listening to my inner voice? Reflect on what was going on internally when that gate opened. Were there fears, doubts, or distractions that took you away from your spiritual center? Recognizing these obstacles is the first step in removing them. As you reflect, also consider the lessons you've gained from the missed moment. Maybe you learned something about your resilience, your commitment, or your ability to listen to divine guidance. Maybe the delay gave you a clearer sense of your purpose. These reflections are not about regret. They are about recognizing how the experience shaped you and prepared you for the next step in your journey. Reflection is also about realizing that the missed opportunity wasn't a mistake. It was part of a larger spiritual plan. The universe doesn't make mistakes. Every delay, every missed opportunity is woven into the fabric of your soul's journey. It has a purpose, and that purpose will become clearer as you reflect and allow the lessons to integrate into your life. Now let's talk about the reconciliation of time. I understand that it can feel like time has passed, and with it, an opportunity was lost. But in the divine realm, time is not linear. What may seem like a missed moment in your physical understanding of time is not missed in the spiritual realm. Divine time doesn't operate on your clock, it operates on the perfect rhythm of your soul's readiness. You may feel like the gate opened 3 days ago and you were late, but in the grand scheme of divine time, there is still a moment for you to step into the blessings and opportunities meant for you. When the spiritual door opened, it wasn't just about one single linear opportunity, it was about the alignment of your heart, mind, and soul to step into the next phase of your purpose. What you may have perceived as lost time is actually the time you needed to fully prepare yourself. It is in this reconciliation of time that you understand that there are no true missed opportunities in the spiritual realm. There are only moments to step into, opportunities to be embraced, and gates to walk through. And when you align with divine timing, time bends to fit your purpose, not the other way around. In this moment, you may feel like you're catching up, but in the spirit, you're simply moving at the pace that your soul is ready for. The gate that you missed 3 days ago is still there. Its echo will continue to call you forward, and when you align yourself, you will find that the divine timing of that gate is not dependent on your human clock. It is dependent on your willingness to align. The most powerful realization about missed opportunities is this: you are not bound by the moment you missed. The true call is the one that remains in your heart, guiding you forward. If you allow yourself to realign, to listen with spiritual ears, you will step into the flow of what's meant for you. The gate that opened 3 days ago is not gone forever. It's still available to you as you walk in alignment with your calling. Return to your spiritual center. Reconnect with your purpose. Know that your timing is still divine, and the echo of the missed opportunity is not a reason to despair. It is the divine invitation to return to the path that has been waiting for you all along. You are still chosen, still called, and still ready to walk through that gate. The echo of the missed opportunity is not the end of the road. It is a reminder to move forward with renewed strength, deeper clarity, and unwavering faith. Chosen one, now that you have reflected on the echoes of missed opportunities and the grace that still awaits you, it's time to talk about spiritual redemption and realignment. These are not just concepts, they are powerful actions that allow you to step back into divine timing, to restore your path and to recover what may have been lost. Spiritual redemption isn't about erasing mistakes. It's about recovering what's been blocked, repositioning yourself spiritually, and embracing a deeper connection to your purpose. When the gate of destiny opened 3 days ago, you were meant to step into a higher level of purpose and alignment. But as we've discussed, distractions, delays, and the chaos of life can sometimes pull us away. However, it's not too late. You have been given the gift of grace, and that grace is now inviting you to return. It's offering you the opportunity to step back into alignment and begin the work of spiritual redemption. Let's dive deeper into how you can redeem lost time, realign your spirit, and reclaim the destiny that was always meant for you. The first step in spiritual redemption is recognizing the need for it. If you've been feeling out of sync, disconnected, or weighed down by the missed opportunities, it's because there's been a disruption in your spiritual flow. It's like a river that's been dammed up. The water still wants to move forward, but something's blocking it. That block is often caused by spiritual misalignment, distractions, or simply not responding when the moment called. This is why recognition is key. It's not about blaming yourself or feeling regretful. It's about honestly assessing where you are now and acknowledging that you want to return to alignment. Redemption begins when you admit, yes, I missed something. Yes, I've been distracted, but I'm ready to reclaim my path. I am ready to step back into alignment with the divine purpose that's been prepared for me. There's a deep power in recognition. When you recognize that you are out of alignment, you take the first step toward redemption. This recognition is not about condemnation. It's a spiritual awakening that invites you to realign and step into the purpose that is still available to you. But here's the truth. This awakening is an invitation to change, to turn away from the patterns that caused you to miss the moment and to embrace a new course that leads you back to your divine calling. Redemption doesn't require perfection. It requires willingness. It requires the humility to admit that something went off course and the courage to return. One of the most powerful tools for spiritual redemption is repentance. Now, repentance is not about feeling guilt or shame. It's about realigning your heart. It's about turning away from the distractions, fears, and doubts that caused you to miss the gate and refocusing on the purpose that was always meant for you. Repentance is a return, a conscious decision to realign with your calling. When you repent, you don't just ask for forgiveness. You commit to a change in your heart, mind, and spirit. It's the act of saying, I acknowledge where I've been off track, but I am ready to walk in a new direction aligned with divine purpose. Repentance is not about self-punishment. It's about turning toward grace, allowing the spiritual path to open up again. It's about turning from distractions from the inner and outer forces that have pulled you off course and saying, I want to walk in the flow of divine timing. There is no shame in repentance. It is in fact a profound act of grace. When you repent, you are invited into a deeper spiritual awareness, one that clears away the clutter and prepares you to step back into your true calling. It's through repentance that you clear the spiritual blockages, allowing the flow of divine timing to move freely again in your life. Now let's talk about realignment. Realigning spiritually means reconnecting with the divine flow of your life's purpose. It's about syncing your inner rhythm with the spiritual rhythms of the universe. Realignment happens when you consciously shift your focus back onto what matters most. Your purpose, your calling, and the divine timing that has always been available to you. Realignment begins with a commitment to clarity. It's about creating space in your life for the spiritual flow to move. So many distractions pull us away from our center, and realignment requires you to cut through that noise. This might mean setting aside time for stillness, prayer, and meditation. It means taking intentional steps to put your focus back on the things that will guide you back into alignment with your calling. It also means clearing away emotional baggage. The longer we stay out of alignment, the more clutter builds up inside. The doubt, the fear, the uncertainty. These are the emotional weights that keep us from hearing the quiet whisper of the Spirit. Realignment requires you to identify and release these emotional burdens. You must ask yourself, what thoughts, fears, and emotions have been blocking me? What do I need to release to make room for divine flow? Realignment is also about reaffirming your trust in divine timing. Even if you missed the gate 3 days ago, realignment asks you to believe that this isn't the end of your path. It's simply a pause. Time isn't as linear as we think. Divine timing doesn't just depend on the minute, it depends on your heart's readiness. And your heart is ready. This moment of realignment is the confirmation that you are on the path again. As you realign, the weight of missed opportunities will begin to lift. you'll find that your clarity returns, your energy flows more freely, and you start to feel the purpose that has been waiting for you. Realignment isn't just about catching up to the past. It's about stepping into the future with renewed vision and spiritual power. To facilitate this process of realignment, prayer and spiritual practices are essential. They create the space where you can listen, reflect, and reconnect with your purpose. When the gate first opened 3 days ago, perhaps you weren't spiritually attuned enough to recognize it. That's okay. Now, in this time of realignment, you must cultivate practices that keep you connected to your higher self and to divine guidance. Daily prayer is a key part of this. Prayer is not just about asking for guidance. It's about creating a sacred space for connection. Through prayer, you open your heart to the divine, allowing the Spirit to guide you back into alignment with your calling. When you pray with sincerity, you are actively seeking to align your will with God's will for your life. Meditation is another powerful tool for realignment. In moments of stillness, when you quiet the noise of the world, you create space for divine messages to flow. Meditation helps you reconnect with your intuition, your inner knowing. It allows you to hear the whispers of the Spirit clearly and to make decisions from a place of peace and spiritual clarity. Additionally, journaling can be an invaluable tool for realignment. Writing down your thoughts, reflections, and prayers helps you clarify your intentions and focus. It's a way to track your progress, your emotional states, and your spiritual shifts. It provides a tangible record of your journey, reminding you of the steps you've taken toward redemption and realignment. Realignment requires obedience, the willingness to act on what the Spirit is guiding you to do. When you recognize the need for redemption and realignment, you must then make the choice to follow through. Obedience is the bridge that connects your recognition and reflection with the action needed to reclaim your divine purpose. It's easy to think about realigning, but the real power comes from obedient action. It's not enough to simply think about your purpose. You must step into it with faith and confidence. And this is the moment when you choose to walk in obedience. It's a daily decision to follow divine guidance, to trust that your steps are being ordered, even if you don't have all the answers. Obedience isn't about perfection, it's about willingness. The Spirit is not asking you to be flawless, it's asking you to be faithful. Your willingness to act in alignment with your calling will make all the difference. As you take steps in obedience, the path becomes clearer, the opportunities more visible, and your purpose unfolds. Now, the final step in this process of spiritual redemption and realignment is about returning to your sacred path. This is the path that was laid out for you long before you were born, the path that calls you back to who you were always meant to be. Even though you've experienced delay, and even though you've missed the gate 3 days ago, your sacred path is waiting for you. The door is still open, the Spirit is still calling. All you need to do is step forward. With grace, humility, and obedience, walk back into the flow of divine timing. The sacred path that was always meant for you is still there. The gate is still open for you to enter. It's time to realign. It's time to reclaim your purpose, and it's time to walk boldly into the life you were always meant to live.